node object to the front or into the head position of our single linked list, and also how to add something into the middle of our single linked list, i.e. not to the end. So there's two cases. So for the very first one, we might want to add something into the first position. So for each object that's been stored in our single linked list, we're going to refer to it using a numeric position. So Johnny is stored in position 1, Timmy is stored in position 2, and Billy is stored in position 3. So if we wanted to add a new item into the head of our list, so let's very quickly say that we want to create a new node, and we want this new node to be added in to the very front of our list. So I'm just going to create a new node, and I want it to be into the very front position. So I'll just paste him in here quickly. Let's go back. And we'll just drop him here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring him up here very quickly, just to get a feel for what we're doing. So I want this new node object to be dropped in to position 1. So it has a unique memory address. It's a new node object in its own right, so it's at of 00004. Whatever, it doesn't matter, it can be any unique memory address, we don't really mind. Now, so we wanted to store a value of, we'll store Mickey. Now, so we've created a new instance of our node object, that's fine. What we need to do now is to insert it into position 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly identify that what we want to store, what we want to do is to add the Mick object into position 1, and the Johnny object then will be into position 2. So obviously we have our single linked list, and the links between them have already been set. So what we need to do is to be able to modify the links between our single linked list to allow our new object or our new node to be inserted in. So what do we need to do? So if a node is going to be stored at the front of the list, head must point to our new node. So that's the first thing we have to change. So we have two things. One, head will need to point at our new object, and second, we need to add a pointer into our new object to be able to find the next object in our single linked list. So if we don't maintain the chain, we'll never be able to find any objects after it. So what we need to do is that the object that we have here is going to go into position 2, which is Johnny. So head already knows how to find the first object in the list, which is Johnny. This is going to be now the second object in the list, so it's going to move over 1. So the object called Mick is going to come into the front of our list. So what we need to do is we need to be able to tell the new object how to find our object storing the value of Johnny. So who already holds this? The head pointer already knows how to find the first object in the list. So this memory address is actually what we want to store in our new object called Mick, because Mick is going to the front of the list and he'll need to be able to find the next object, which will be Johnny. So I'm going to set his value here to A0001. So now our object called Mick is able to find the object called Johnny. So I'm just going to very quickly move our list over so we can actually see what's happening. So I'm just going to quickly highlight our friends here. Okay, and I'm going to bring it all over here ever so slightly. Bring him all the way over. Now the head, our value for head is still pointing at Johnny, which is fine. So we reattach our link. Now, what have we done? We have already set Mick to point at Johnny. So I'm going to bring him down here very quickly, drop him in. this pointer already points at, so we've changed the value of our new object called Mick, and he is now pointing at the object that stores the value of Johnny. So I'm just going to bring this back here very quickly. I will drop him in. So the only problem now is that the head of our list is still pointing at Johnny. Johnny isn't actually at the head. We want Mick to be at the head. So we can take the memory address of our new object called Mick, and we'll tell our head pointer to point at this new value for us. So what this has done is we're no longer pointing at as the object Johnny for the start of the list. Now we've pointed to Mick. So we're going now from head to point at Mick. Mick points at Johnny. Johnny points at Timmy. Timmy points at Billy. Billy holds a value of null, and we're at the end of our single linked list. So what we were doing is we had two modifications to do to add to the start of the list. First we needed to create a new instance of our node. And what we needed to do then was to tell the new object which object it needs to point to. So Johnny was already at the start of the list. We were moving Johnny from position 1 to position 2, so our new object needed to point to Johnny. And the head value already knew the address of how to point at Johnny, so we were able to say take the value from head and store that as Mick's new pointer. So you can see here that the previous value of head was a at of 0001. Now that's stored in Mick. We're just basically telling Mick how to find the next object in the chain. And then we had to basically update the head to point at the new object we inserted, which is our Mick object. So we changed the pointer of head to point at a at of 0004. So we broke the chain, added our new object in, and reconnected the links between them. So for this example, we were looking at adding a new item into the very first position in our single linked list. So the next thing we're going to look at is how we can add an item basically into the middle of our single linked list.